Okay, let's talk about some of the burning economic issues for this Thursday as we wrap up the business week tomorrow. So let's get Nosike Nwajiri of Financial Derivatives back into the studios here to continue the conversation around the commodities marketplace. Good morning. Welcome.
Morning.
Great. I see the crude oil, I saw a bit of a tapering in or slowdown in Brent crude, still around $66 a barrel. I think that is still one issue. But if I look at the excess, for FX reserves, it looks like we're now effectively below $40 billion.
Yes. Okay, crude oil at 66. Okay, there was something that happened yesterday. President Trump was impeached, so to speak, by the House, by the Congress. The lower.
Was that a market shock?
There was no market shock. The market has already anticipated. Okay, the Congress.
The House will have their way?
Yeah, but the Senate, dominated by Republicans, will, in effect, make sure that that is a non-issue. So the market's already factored that in and, just carrying on as if nothing happened. Yeah, the major issue was the EIA reporting that U.S. stockpiles fell by 1.1 million barrels. So that had propped up oil prices back up to 60. It got towards 67, fell to 65, but back up to 66.24. That gives Nigeria a bit of leverage. Benchmark oil price is 60, 66 as we approach January 1st, where the OPEC, further cuts by OPEC will come to effect, and Nigeria will be expected to comply with its quota of about 1.7, and it's currently producing above quota. Nigeria is more production sensitive than price sensitive, so we expect that forex earnings will fall a bit by then. The external reserves have been falling gradually since the middle of the year. We're down to almost 39 billion at this time. The CBN has made it clear that it would bleed reserves, at the expense of maintaining or exchange rate stability. So, but then again, the exchange rate depreciated to 363 naira at the parallel market yesterday. Obviously, we've seen
a bit of a year-end pressure.
Well, there's year-end. Typically, at the end of the year, we have a lot of Nigerians who are coming back into the country from overseas. So remittances in Nigeria is coming back.
There's a bit of supply.
So there's an increased supply. What we think is going on is that there's the declining interest rate environment. A lot of investors are looking for where to keep their money, so there's increased forex demand, and because of that falling interest environment,
there's so much liquidity.
There's so much liquidity. Yeah, some people can even take loans to buy dollar
and keep.
So yeah, there's increased pressure.
And anticipating that early in the new year, Q1, there could be something.
There could be something, but now that we've seen the Senate approve a $30 billion loan request.
By Mr. Pai, yes.
Yeah, adding $30 billion to the reserves, that shoots it up back to. That's we're talking about 60.
When that eventually
comes, probably come in bits and pieces.
It's going to come in bits and pieces because it's coming from different sources anyway.
Yes.
From AFDB, from the World Bank, and what have you. So it's going to come through different sources. But I think as those accretions start coming in, it goes into the FX reserve. But the question again is, we need to spend them on the infrastructure.
Yes,
that should be. I think it's borrowed money.
Yeah, it should be tied to infrastructure projects that would, go some way in, boosting economic activity, which can be taxed, which now goes back to government revenue. And the key worry, obviously, is our debt to GDP ratio. Debt to exports ratio is even, because obviously you pay back your debt with your revenues, which is mainly from exports.
Yeah, debt to export ratio. If you don't have rapid oil and non-oil, then you're looking at a serious issue here. In fact, more of non-oil than oil.
Yes. Because
your oil is just going to the current account, by the way. So you just blow it on salaries and wages and all of that. So in terms of the goodies and the downers, where are we this morning? Do we have, how does this shape up?
Well, the downers, obviously, the reserves are close to 39. But with the loan request, it remains to be seen how quickly that will happen, and the dollar starts trickling in. But we expect to see that there will be increase in the external reserves in the coming months. We had obviously oil is above 66. Then power, which was down to 0 sometime last week, is back above 4,000 megawatts.
Okay, let's wrap it up around the soft commodities market. Any significant change since our last conversation around some of the big products that you track at FDC?
Soft commodities.
Yes, corn. cocoa.
Wheat, for instance, there's the U.S. dollar has strengthened in the past few days, obviously, and it means that you need more dollar to buy the same amount of wheat. So that has had a negative effect on the demand, and prices have fallen. Cocoa prices, there's news of deforestation. Some issues around climate change and deforestation in the Ivory Coast. So prices will rise in the future because, I mean, it will impact output and all. But for the moment, there's increased output by Ghana and Ivory Coast. So that has made prices fall to an extent. Then for sugar, the biggest, one of the biggest producers of sugar is India. Yeah, and there's the talk of a slowdown in the Indian economy that will impact demand
and not with this protest going on over nationalization, whatever issues in India. If folks who are growing sugar go on protest, they're going to leave the farms.
Yes.
Most likely, if that continues, if that process continues, maybe that's going to push sugar prices up, because it looks like different regions, there are a lot of talk about this new law passed by the government, which the court says, look, the government is right. The government can as well. So I'm sure President Modi is trying to look at it, because it's going to come down, because, of course, India, a lot of millions in agriculture and all of that. So sugar price is something to watch in the days ahead. Thank you so much. I hope to see you just before Christmas. That's next week.
Yes, next week.
Thank you. So get it all ready then for the early next week. Thank you so much, Nasike Nwajide from Financial Derivatives Company.